Welcome to our talk, Mayors Under Pressure. We know that we observe an increasing threats against politicians and officials on the national and on the communal level. And mayors and officials who advocate for the well-being of their communities, actually, who are there to care for the well-being of their community, are increasingly confronted with hate speech, mobbing, and even physical and psychological attacks. So, unfortunately, we have already heard of cases where mayors have been physically attacked and even assassinated. So what we also observe is an increasing lack of respect towards official authorities, mayors, politicians, even policemen and firefighters. And we have already heard of the two speeches, the two sparkling inputs before, and especially the one from Mrs. Ivana Markovic, who said, we have to stand up and we have to fight fear with honesty, and we have to send very clear messages. And she was sending very clear messages and reacted very sharply to the hooligans who were attacking. So I'm very grateful to welcome 4 wonderful panelists today, and I may start here with introducing Mr. Igor Marentič, who is mayor of Postojna, which is a region and a city and a commune southwest of Slovenia. Mrs. Isabella Conti, she is mayor from San Lazzaro di Savena, which is a commune in the metropolitan city of Bologna. Tjark Bartels, he was long years head of the district authorities in Hameln-Pyrmont, which is northwest Germany, and also a mayor himself. And Mr. Mohamad Saadie, who is mayor of Zeuge-Buberl and who is head of the Union of Municipalities in Dannieh, which is in northern Lebanon, from near of Tripoli, if some of you know the region. So welcome everyone. I may start with you, Mr. Marentič. You said that mayors are really in the front line, and you also told me that you're very well known in Slovenia. Postojna is very well known. And you had the experience in the last election phase that other politicians and other people have severely attacked you, and I would like to know more about it and about your experiences in this regard.
Okay, thank you, Jutta. As you said before, physically attacked, I can't talk about it, not yet. But mentally, pressure is all the time. Mostly through the media, mostly through the social networks. Why? Because social networks can use everybody. Everybody can use this media, and they can write whatever they want. I'm talking about lies. I'm talking about stupid things, really stupid. Sometimes you read about yourself things you never heard about it. You didn't know that you are I don't know, fat, that you are I don't know, bald or something like that. But they know that, and they can write without any responsibility. Well, on elections, I had a really good score. A little bit. You had better than I do, but I won with 80%. Anyway, but there is always few percents, 5% maybe people, guys who think all the time bad. And last few years, I work a lot of time. I spend a lot of time, and I work a lot with refugees, unaccompanied refugees, which we have. And you know, there's people who are afraid about their future, because if we receive those young guys, what will be with them? They won't have a job, because these few guys we took them jobs, and this kind of thinking is absolutely wrong. And because I always stand behind those refugees, of course, as I said, a few percent people attack me, and attack me very, very bad. And on the end, over the year, I become immune. But I still have my family. I have kids, and they didn't used to it yet. So it's not easy all the time. It's a beautiful job, but this kind of it's not easy. And as you said, Postojna is one of largest city in Slovenia. Everybody knows Postojna in Slovenia. So whatever happened in our town, in our community, in our municipality, everybody knows and everybody write about it. So I am really exposed. Not only I, but also my co-workers. And but anyway, I will run again because I feel that I can do something.
Yeah.
I can do something even, and it will be always the same. Maybe we should do something about. Don't understand me wrong, but I respect journalist freedom, but there must be a limit.
So you're saying, what can we do against it? How can we overcome this polarization, or how can we react to people who want to attack, who want to polarize? You say that also media is playing a part in it. And what else do you say? What do you say against those who attacked you?
Well, usually I don't respond because my work, I respond them. I don't respond to the media at all, never, because I don't. I think that it's not good to low on their level and speak with them on the very low level, because there is never end. It's not useful. It's not. Matter what they say, because as I said, I answer them with the good work which I do every day. That's the most. What can I say? Yeah. What can I say them?
Thank you very much, Isabella. You are a member of the Social Democrats in Italy. And as we all know, Lega Nord is very popular and very strong in Italy, the right-wing populist party. And you have experienced several attacks from right-wing populists, members of this party. And in the last communal elections, they won 40%, but the Social Democrats won 60%. And then there were also the municipal elections where you had a great result. So please tell us about your experience and what happened.
Yes, I am a mayor, and this is my second time. So it's 6 years that I'm a mayor, actually. And I can say that populism can be beaten just with good, concrete politics of inclusion, of togetherness. And I can share you some examples. First of all, you have to know that in my country, when they found out buildings or goods that are related with a criminal organization, the state, the country took them, and they took the property of them and give to the municipalities to manage. They gave us the responsibility to manage these buildings. The first thing that I've done on 2016, when I had the property and I have the responsibility to manage this building, was to create a good environment for refugees. So there, right now, still live 10 guys together, experience good experiences, sharing good experiences and sharing a good life with all the community. We invest on culture, theater, places where all together people from my city, all people from all over the world can be together and feel close, feel part of the same human being, human race, you know. And when I did that, I've been really hard attacked, of course, because the thoughts that everybody, the first thought that a lot of people do is why you give them this kind of goods, why you give them this kind of help when we need help too. And so the first thing that I wanted to do was explain people. I don't want to let people feel alienated, not just the refugees, also the haters. Because when I read so many bad things about my choices of inclusion, I was like, wow, you grow up in my same town. You probably attend my same schools, the same school that I attended. So we share the same backgrounds and technically the same values. So I have to take care of you at least as much as I take care of refugees, with culture, with dialogue. And I have to explain you that if we do what Lega wants us to do, we are gonna take distance from people that comes from far away with bad situation, poverty, war, and they're gonna feel alienated from us. And quickly you're gonna create the environment for danger, discrimination, alienation, terrorism. So right now, what we invest on them, it's like to invest on the whole community in harmony, in future. And I have to say that it was a great joy to me to see that I've been elected the first time with the 59% of consent of votes. And last May, after all this work, I've been elected with the 81%. So I understand that we have to invest on people, that we cannot give up, and we cannot make people that right now are scared, full of hate, and full of prejudice, we cannot give up on them too. Yeah. We have to involve them and to create rooms and space to connect and to feel part of the same project that look on future.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So one of the recipes is not like also doing the exclusion that others do, but also include them and talk with them. And
sometimes also politics do this polarization, and it's a mistake because you cannot just put your finger against someone that it's saying bad things, of hate or disrespectful, full of prejudice. You cannot just let him feel the same way that he is trying to let feel someone that is weaker. We have to try to make this new relationship between human beings, and we have to create space to let also them feel accepted and listened, and then we have to build something different.
Thank you very much. And now we'll come to Mr. Saadie. You told us that you have a more than 22 years experience in your job, which is amazing. And as we all know, the situation in Lebanon is critical for quite a long time. And you were saying also that the weak infrastructure in the country and the forms of corruption, the dysfunctioning of the government. We are all following the news and have been following the demonstrations since October against the government. And these contexts are weakening the municipalities also. And there's a lack of support for municipalities from the side of the government. But at the same time, there's also expectations from the side of the citizens, and municipalities cannot really successfully deliver the services that they would like to. So how are you experiencing this pressure from both sides?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me confess, when you talk about mayors under pressure, I think you talk about us in Lebanon, because all mayors in Lebanon live under pressure and in this distinguished city in all the world. And as all my colleague, my journey as mayor and president of Union of Municipalities in North Lebanon is full of challenges and escalating pressures. Citizens sometimes blame us and accuse us of negligence and failure to do our duties properly. We are the closest authority to them, and we constitute the focal point to which they turn to propose or oppose project and influence development. Furthermore, we exist in a country, as you said, full of domestic challenges. We have $106 billion debt, and we have no infrastructure. So we have a very high pollution rate affecting to the whole Mediterranean region, costly and unreliable electricity, underdevelopment, infrastructure, and high unemployment, adding to the rubbish crisis that has clearly portrayed in depth of the corruption and political dysfunction, as you said, in Lebanon, and the high influx of Syrian crisis, which exacerbated already the dear situation. So the mayor in Lebanon must work sometime as a ranger, sometime or judge or technician or engineer, or in conflict resolution, and sometime as a mayor. So in our case, in our region, which is very specific in Lebanon, we are in a region in North Lebanon of 150,000 inhabitants, and we have 75,000 of Syrian refugees. So we have lack. Actually, our region have lack of sewage network, lack of sufficient road, lack of water network. Despite as per last statistic done by the World Bank, showing that in our region we have the biggest underground water reservoir in the Middle East, and we have lack of electricity network, lack of waste management and sewage network, and something like that. So these factors have affected the living conditions of the region and have led to the increase in poverty level in the migration of residents to urban area, or even to other countries. The Syrian crisis and the resulting influx of Syrian displaced exacerbated the socio-economic conditions in our region and put additional pressure on municipality and the already limited social services, mainly education and the other. So in addition to that, I have to highlight on one thing. Our region now have three main resources for income, touristic and agriculture and employment. For touristic area is destroyed totally because we have 16,000 dwelling in our region used in summertime for touristic person who come to spend their summertime in our region. Now it's occupied totally by Syrian refugee, and we had before 2012 120 restaurants. Now we have only 6 restaurants, and all other are closed. So it's destroyed totally. And about agriculture, you know, the close border between Lebanon and Syria destroyed this agriculture sector. So we are in our region as survivor. Not only municipalities and mayors, and even the citizen and who live in this country, in all Lebanon. This is in general.
So, so now you say at the same time I have to be the technician and I have to be engineer and so on. So sometimes you're really running a one-man show, and I mean, aside from the things that, like from the big things that regard infrastructure and so on, that a municipality itself cannot solve all the time because it's a national issue. But on the local level, what are you doing, to ease the situation and to counter people who are very dissatisfied, maybe with politicians in general and also with local politicians? What have you been doing?
As I'm facing enormous challenges, as I said, and my tasks are arduous, and I found myself asking whether I should carry out my job as described by the policies of municipalities, or whether I should focus on development. And I decide to break the decline and turn obstacle into assets and make development the focal point on my mission, and try as much as possible to eliminate the difference between urban and peri-urban area, to keep our citizens stay in our region, and to keep balance between the various villages and communities. So consequently, I have contributed to the development of my region. So through many projects such as strategic development planning, rehabilitation of agriculture infrastructure, implementation of development plan of the private area, and establishment of the natural reserve of juniper, which is the biggest one in Lebanon, and many sportive stadium. Last and not least, the Dannieh Center for Sustainable Development, which established to facilitate the participatory approach of young people and women empowerment, and for local NGOs, especially the cohesion between youth and girls. And as I believe that transparency the perfect tool to ensure the good governmental work and to fight against corruption, I have become pioneer in Lebanon in applying the transparency principle through our union work and its web portal website, our website, dannieh.com, respected to the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 goals, where we are diffusing all our achievement, all our project, all our tender, bills, meetings, and we are rewarded by a certificate from the Lebanese Association of Transparency, which represent the International Association of Transparency. And finally, in order to include the civil society in our daily work and to gain the trust of the citizen, especially the youth, I launched a call for youth in our region to participate with us through our program, our slogan, every citizen can be a partner and every citizen can be a president of this of municipality if he submits his project and he will win. So he will preside all sessions concerning the negotiation and studies concerning his project. So now, and we based especially on the support of NGO, international NGO. For example, we have done with Mercy Court a huge project concerning the cohesion between both the society, Lebanese and Syrian, and we talk based on the humanity way and the human right between both people, and to eliminate any discrimination and corruption and tension between two people.
Yes.
So
thank you very much, Mr. Saadie. Like, we admire the job that you have been doing, and I hope that you serve as a role model for other municipalities in Lebanon. Really. I now have to come. Now we're coming to Mr. Tjark Bartels. Tjark Bartels, we know you as a very committed politician for many years now. And we have visited you also in your district and in your community. And we know that you have successfully implemented projects that foster social cohesion and strengthen inclusiveness. And as we have heard, especially committed politicians are often very much exposed to hate speech. And please tell us your experiences.
Yeah, thanks, Uta. I think I want to split it in two different things. So one is what happens if you are faced with hate speech. And so the other side is what happens if there is a border in you hurt. So your inner core, your soul. So I think at first what we see is that not only persons, not only mayors, not only persons in public, but each of us can be a victim of what happens in social media, because that what we see in social media is an accelerator for something we can say kind of mobbing or something like this. And so it can happen to each of you in your university or in your school class or in your office or wherever. And so I was known as a not only tall man, but more or less resilience. And so all people thought, and yes, I myself did it also, I can stand a lot. So, but there is always an end of what you can stand. And so we had a big scandal in my county or in the neighbor county. And so as a head of administration, of course, I take the responsibility. And people sometimes can't divide between guilty and responsible. but it's a big difference. And so what happens then? When you have it in social media, all that hate speech is very, so it's anonymous. And so also when you say yourself, okay, that's just hate speech, that don't hurt me, that don't hurt me. So after a while, it does. After a while, it does. So and I think the first thing we all have to prepare is how can we save our souls and how can we build up a good system? How can we build up solidarity around us that we can stand this kind of hate speech and this kind of, yes, it's a kind of mobbing. So in my case, I can say, I think I would have stand all this. The second one was something completely different because at the end of May last year, I received a mail, or it's not a mail, it was also a post on Facebook and others with a very, someone, it deals with my death and so on. And you should know that my predecessor, he was killed by a citizen of the county in his office. And after that, so, and in this man, it was not anonymous. It was a person in the county living there around. And so it was more concrete. And it was also, and that was a second big thing, it was also very, it was a slander because this was also the idea that I am guilty for all that what happened. So it was dealing with sexual abuse and so on, very bad case. So I do not know why, but this message yes hit me so deep, and so it was I really got ill. I got ill for months, and so I can't work anymore. And at the end, I had to quit my job. So, and there are, in my eyes, two things we have to do. The first is that we have to take care about ourselves and just see the signals. And I can say from my experience, you believe that you will stand all. So be careful. Take care for yourself. That's the first message. Beware of a good friends and solidarity around. I had this, but not from all, and that was also a bad thing. And so also from some people, I expected to get some more solidarity. I didn't get it. And I think what we have to do is, of course, to stop what happens in social media. I really do not understand why we allow people just to say whatever they want, blaming other people, saying lies, whatever. So without border, they just do it. I can't understand why we don't judge it another way. The other kind is to react with solidarity whenever things like that happens. And I think we have to learn this. We have to learn this as organizations. We have to learn this as systems in schools, in offices, and also in parties or wherever we are and wherever this can hit us. And so at the end and after a lot of months, I can say, okay, I survived. There is a life behind, so it's a very hard experience. And yes, one last thing maybe is that I was a little bit shocked that after that posting I mentioned, there was a very, very low reaction from the police. So I thought, okay, they're on my side, aren't they? So, but it was just very nebensächlich. They took it just by sight, saying, okay, it's not that nice, but nothing happened. So yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot with that post. And so I think also from this side, from the state side, must become more solidarity. You have to take it seriously. But when something is broken in you, it's broken. And it hurts. And you need a long time to heal it. So, and that's my experiences for the moment. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Tjark. There's one last question I have to ask you. What message are you sending to the people, the young people who are here, who say we are not leaders of the future, we are leaders of the present, and we are here to change the now? So what do you tell them? Some of them you're right. Igor, you're right. No, this is I think something that let's make a last round. One last sentence, please keep your answer shortly. So let's start with Mohamad. Let's start with you.
So thanks to Act.Now, and they have an idea, and they are trying hard way to change this idea into action. I think we will achieve our goals in high solidarity, because in this way, and in full cooperation and full solidarity, we should be optimistic for our situation, especially in Lebanon. And now we have to act. So let's act now with our partners. Act now. Thank you.
Isabella.
Well, I think that try to be the change that you want to see in the world. Nothing more. Gandhi was to me a real inspiration. Try to be every day with your behavior, with your thoughts, with your words, with your actions, with your job, with your study. Try to be the best part of yourself. And if each one of us try to do this every day, day by day, we have already done a revolution. So please try to be the best part of yourself and try to be what you want to see in others.
Mm-hmm. Great. Micro.
Just take care of your soul. Just take care of your next one. I think that's what we should do.
Well, as you said, here is a lot of young people, so I will talking to you. If you have dreams to do something, don't hesitate. It's not awful to be a mayor. It is, but it is one of the most beautiful job which exists. Why? Because you can help every day, and you can do really good things for environment, for people around you, for even for a state. So don't hesitate and step forward and go on election.
Thank you very much for sending these messages to the audience. All of you are members of the Now Mayors Network that we have been facilitating since 2007. And the Now Mayors Network is a network with members of Europe, from countries in Europe, the Balkan region, and the Middle East and Turkey region. And it offers, so to say, a safe space for mayors who are standing for political and social cohesion and who have experienced times of polarization. And of course, we are working on approaching solutions in the network, and we are about to find local actions that actually solve problems on the local level. And as does the conference, the Now 7 conference as well. So it's the second day of the conference, and we still have 1 day time to approach solutions in order to foster social cohesion, inclusion, and include everyone in this dialogue. Thank you very much.